Welcome, everybody, to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. My name is Ross Benjamin. I'm your host. It is Tuesday, January the 9th, and like every Tuesday morning, I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues, Mr. Sean Higgs and Mr. Jesse Schule, all three of us of gamblersworld.net, which is our sponsor site. And not only us three, but you'll find 7 other great handicappers over at gamblersworld.net. It's there where when you purchase one of our picks or packages or subscription plans, we guarantee that if you don't win, you don't make a profit, we will credit your account back the exact amount of your purchase price. That applies to all single game and multi-game daily packages, as well as all subscription plans of 30 days or less. And again, if you do happen to lose on a pick package or a subscription plan, whatever you paid for that package will credit your account. And you're not stuck with just one handicapper. If you're not satisfied, you can move on to another handicapper, and you're not don't have to be in a rush to use that credit either. You could use it any which way and any which time you like. All right, Sean, how are you? How was the weekend, my friend?
Not a bad weekend. I finished up NFL. What do we do this weekend? 6-3 for the NFL. Not too bad. We'll take a 6-3 NFL weekend. College basketball's on a nice little run. I think in the new year. I should have. You know what? I didn't. Yesterday, I think I looked at it coming in. I think it was a 25-17 in January. So something along those lines. Again, 60%. It's good. I'll take it. It was a little rough little spot to start. We were grinding along, but not too bad. And NBA hit a couple games last night. It's all right. College football's over, but we got playoffs, and then we got hockey, college hoops, and some NBA that somehow I'm hitting early, so I'm happy about that. That's a rarity for me. So I'll be honest, I don't bet a lot of it, so I'm doing all right.
All right, so Mr. Sean Higgs, you could find him, as I alluded to, over at gamblersworld.net, and you'll see you could click on Sean. You could see all his hot streaks. You could see what sport he's been doing well in of late. And that goes with all of our handicappers, including this gentleman, a Canadian native, but now residing in Thailand, Western Canadian, by the way. So I want to specify that. And a guy who goes through the process on a daily basis, Mr. Jesse Schule. Jesse, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing not bad, Ross. I think on the Friday show, when you asked me how I was doing, I said I was looking forward to passing you for the top spot in college hoops, which I did do at the conclusion of Friday, only to lay an egg on Saturday and give it right back to you. But I enjoyed it those few hours at the top.
Enjoy it while you can. You know what? It's a long season still ahead, Jess. As you well know, you got to watch out for Mr. Higgs too, because when he gets hot with those volume of plays he puts up, he could turn the tables on both of us pretty quick. So in all, folks, all three of us are guys you should seriously consider. 3-day, 7-day, 30-day packages, all very affordable at $99, $175, and $399 for the 30-day. And the only way to get a true measure of a handicapper and to know you're with a good guy is A, do your research, Google search, I should say. B, look at the standings. C, if someone's hot right now, and D, at the end of the day, if you can't judge a handicapper on one day's worth of work, that's why some of you, when we lose a free pick on this channel, and I know it sounds redundant, but I'm going to say it again. I had a guy the other day. He called me horse breath. Who did a horse breath have? He took the Ravens. So at the end of the day, look at, man, it's a free pick. We put our stock in the premium picks we put out online. And at the end of the day, we want to win our free picks. By the way, guys, I've been bragging about my standing over at the Wise Guy tournament that Mark Lawrence runs, and 47 guys. And I went into last night. I needed Michigan. They were my top play, and if Michigan covered at -4.5, I got them at the Wise at their line. I was going to be tied for first, and if they didn't, I was going to be out of the money completely. And thankfully, Michigan covered. I ended up in a tie for first with Mark Lawrence. And Sean will tell you it's rigged, but I'll take the few $1,000 payday.
Not for you. I'm saying, the guy who runs the contest, the Mark Lawrence contest is won by Mark Lawrence. They're tied. Come on.
Yeah,
that guy
but he's in it every. He's in it every year, and
I know.
Yeah, he has no. Actually, that's the least of his worries in that regard. He delegates work to everybody. With his newsletter he puts out weekly and his annual magazine. He does a lot of delegating within his office. So, in any event, let's get right to the games. Jesse, let's start with you. The number 2 Houston Cougars against a real good Iowa State team, and they're going to Ames, Iowa, Houston, that is, to take the Cyclones on. This game will be televised on ESPN2, scheduled for a 7 p.m. Eastern time tip. Right now, Houston is a 3-point favorite, and the total in this game is 131. What do you have for us, Jesse?
Well, Houston cost me some money on Saturday, Ross. I mentioned that I had passed you after Friday's results for the lead with college hoops, and then I had the under in the Houston-West Virginia game amongst a few other losers. Had a terrible Saturday with college basketball. Houston just beat the living daylights out of West Virginia by 34 points, scored far too many for me to hit my under. This Houston team's for real, and they've been for real for a long time. It's nothing new with this Houston team. They're 14-0, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to bet against teams that are 14-0 because how are you going to get value with you're betting on the number 2 ranked team. They got an undefeated record. How could you possibly get any value there? But this team was 11-0 on the road last year, so they've proven they can do it. Iowa State, on the other hand, they haven't proven it to me. They've got a decent record, sure, but in the games that in the games against quality opposition, they've lost. They lost to Utah. They lost on the road at Xavier. They lost to Dayton, and they did not lose. Those are the teams that Houston beat. They lost to Texas A&M and Oklahoma, to the 2 games against ranked teams. They'd lost them both, and they also lost to Virginia Tech. Home court advantage. I love home court advantage, but in this particular spot, I just think Houston's by far the better team, and only a couple points. I'll lay the 3 with Houston.
All right, so Jesse Schule likes Houston minus the 3 over Iowa State. Houston currently ranked number 2. I've seen some polls that had them at number 1 as well, depending on where you look. And you know what? The rankings don't mean a hell of a lot right now. What matters right now is Houston's 14-0. Here's the thing, Sean. Jesse mentioned strong home court, and Iowa State definitely has that. The 3 losses Jesse mentioned were either on the road or at a neutral site. And at home in Ames, they're 9-0 straight up. But the big thing, they're also 8-1 against the spread and outscoring opponents at home by 38.1 points per game. Now, granted, Sean, none of those teams they beat at home is the caliber or in the same league with Houston from a quality standpoint. But what's your take here?
Yeah, well, let's just talk about the teams who they just beat. Okay, they lost at Oklahoma. Before that, New Hampshire laying 28, Eastern Illinois laying 32, laying 35 to Florida Atlantic or Florida A&M, Prairie View 27. So, like most teams, we're getting a little fat here. I got to say, I got 9 college hoops today. This is one. I have a 3-pack up. This isn't one of my games in 3-pack. I'm against this here. Iowa State. I got them at a 4 here. And I was happy with a 4. The fact that it's down to, what is it now, a 2, 2.5?
No, it's actually 3.
3? Okay.
Yep.
I mean, coming down, I don't know. That looks one of those little too light kind of lines. You get a few of them sometimes today, but I'll take a shot on the home team here. Again, am I expecting a 90-point performance like they put up against some of these other teams? No, but Houston, and I like Houston. As Jess said, last couple of years, this team's been really good. And they always seem to get derailed by some kind of injury, which we're probably right on time for somebody to go out in their starting lineup to lose for the year. But sorry, Jess, I lean the other way here with Iowa State.
Yeah, I am going to agree with Sean here because I'm looking at the strength of schedule. Houston definitely has played a far stronger strength of schedule, and Jesse pointed that out. But why again, they're only a 3-point favorite, and
How
this
about
is a team.
how about the
Go ahead.
total of 131 here with these two teams that actually kind of could score? I mean, Houston, when they go, they could pedal it up and get into the 80s and 90s, or they could just beat you 70-42.
Yeah.
I mean, is Iowa State
Well, I
not
mean,
scoring anything today? It's
well, it's not
131. You're
so.
telling me this game's 70-60?
Yeah, but look at Houston's how many points they've allowed, Sean. I mean,
Yeah, but
I'll
they also
go down the list 50, 31, 50, 48, 49.
look at
They
those
had a
teams,
bad
though.
game against Utah and gave up 66, 55 to Dayton, 44,
Yeah, 37
60
against.
to
But these are,
Xavier,
but
39
look
to
at the
Rice,
teams they are, though.
55 to Jackson State, 66 to Texas A&M. Yeah, your point's well taken. When they
But you're
have
home.
stepped
You're
up in
home.
class,
You're home. You're homecoming with that defense versus a bottom teams. You know, Texas State 72-37. I mean, it's Texas State playing in Houston. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Looks a little low to me. It looks. I don't know.
And
I
12
think
of the
Houston could.
14 opponents that Houston has faced, they've held them to less than 40% shooting. So this
Yeah.
is an excellent Houston team. And I think if you look at Ken Palm, it bears that out where they're ranked in terms of defensive efficiency. So, yeah, I mean, you make a good point. But if you're asking me why this total is so low, I think it has much to do with Houston's defensive prowess rather than anything else. So anyway, Sean, while we have you, let's look at your game, and it's an intriguing one. BYU, now in the Big 12, ranked number 18 in the country. They're taking on number 14 Baylor. That game will be played in Waco, Texas, home of the Baylor Bears. And right now, the Baylor Bears are a 4-point favorite in this game. The total is 154. Which way you going with this one, my friend?
I'm going to go to the over here. And BYU, yeah, okay, we like BYU a little bit. They're a ranked. They looked really good. Again, who these teams play early, it is what it is. They lost as a 10-point favorite at home to Cincinnati, which is, okay, you're not going to cover a 10. I understand. To lose that game, and BYU's always been kind of a competitive upper mid-major, decent Mountain West kind of squad. I don't know. I sort of like them with the points here. Yes, I'm going to go over here because bad shooting performance for both teams. So that's what I'm going to look at here. They're both coming off of rickety shooting, not the best. I think they're two of the top 3-point shooting teams. And Scott Drew was talking about, well, don't worry about that. We're not going to shoot like that again, especially at home. I'm expecting a big offensive performance for Baylor and a bounce back performance at BYU. Let's see what BYU is, right? We've seen some of the football teams come into the Big 12, obviously got to step up in competition. I think they're better than what they did last week, like it's still football season. Their last game against a good Cincinnati team, who's favored today, or by the way, over a ranked Texas squad. Give me the over. I think we get rebounding in their shooting game for both squads. 154. I'm going to go over. It's high. It's a complete opposite of what we just talked about. The other Big 12 teams here with a little defense coming with Houston. Baylor likes to run up. Their 2 losses, Duke and Michigan State, both on the road. I don't know. Good. It should be a good battle,
Yeah.
but I'm going over.
2 good teams. You got to take a look at the home court might make the difference in this game, but the line is only Baylor -4 at home. Yeah, and both
BYU
teams
got at home real fast. Sorry, Ross.
It's okay.
3 baskets the last 12 minutes for them at home their last game. Yeah, that'll lose you games no matter. You're playing home on the road. That's a problem. So a little, that's kind of stuff. I look for a little bounce back performance and stuff like that. At least I do.
BYU shot 32.8% in that home loss to Cincinnati. They only had one other game where they were under 40%, and that was a loss at Utah. It's not like Baylor. In past years, I would say Baylor is a really good defensive team. But when I look at their numbers defensively this year, and a lot, when they have held teams down in terms of point production, Jesse, it's been more of a component of the pace of the game being extremely slow. They hold Look at this one game, though. This is what bothers me. The game they played against Michigan State, it allowed 88 points, gave up 63.3% shooting. That's not Baylor. I mean, defensively under Drew. And then especially as the level of competition has stepped up. 49% they allow against Duke and 78 points. 49% against a good offensive team in Cornell. They may not be in the caliber of any Big 12 team. Well, they certainly aren't. And then against Oklahoma State, they gave up 47% and 70 points. What do you got on this one, Jesse?
Yeah, Ross, I think we went through this on our last show where Sean said, show me a team that hasn't had a bad game. I'm sort of the opinion that you gotta look at a team's worst game and their best game and sort of throw those out and look at all the rest of their resume, and that's probably the team that you can expect. Every team's got a bad game in them or a great game in them, so I'm not going to hold that against them. My first look here was, like Sean said, to the over. You got the 8th ranked scoring offense versus the 7th ranked scoring offense. Both these teams piling on the points, but then again, questionable strength of schedule. Who have they really played? Don't really like the loss to Cincinnati for BYU. And as Sean said, it's welcome to the Big 12. Technically last week's, or not last week, but their last game against Cincinnati was a Big 12 game, but Cincinnati's also new to the Big 12. So this game against Baylor is perhaps their first actual test on the road at Baylor, catching 4 points. This is a Baylor team that's 8-0 at home this year, 14-3 last year. I'm not sure that 4 points is enough. My lean would be toward Baylor.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jesse. I mean, you made a good point on the strength of schedule. BYU right now, according to KenPom, has played the 287th strongest schedule in the country, which is very low. There's only 363 teams. As a matter of fact, if you get into the non-conference portion of their schedule, like Sean says, some of these teams get fat in the non-conference play. Their non-conference schedule is 307 in terms of strength of schedule, and that's out of 363 teams. Conversely, Baylor, 94th strongest schedule in the country, 139 in terms of non-conference schedule. And to Sean's point, Baylor right now, number 4 in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency, number 2 in terms of effective field goal percentage, number 1 in three-point shooting. 45% Baylor shoots from beyond the three-point mark. BYU, not a bad offensive club as well. Number 19 in offensive efficiency, and number 40 in terms of three-point shooting. Number 9 in terms of two-point percentage. So I agree with both of you guys. My lean would be toward Baylor here, minus the 4 at home, and I also like Sean's pick of over 154 on this contest. All right, before we get to my pick, Jesse, tell the folks a little bit about how you've been doing of late or what you might have coming up. We got the NFL playoffs starting on Saturday, 6 big games from Saturday through Monday. What say you, my friend?
Well, we're coming to the tail end of the football season, and for me, that always means hot streaks going to come on with NHL, NBA, and college basketball. It's a matter of what sports we can put our focus on, and at this time of year, I shift my focus to hockey and basketball more so than I do during the football season, and that's always paid dividends. I've checked my records the other day at sports capping for NBA playoffs, and I can't count on these two hands the top 5 finishes with NBA playoffs over the last decade and a half at sports capping. So
you mean you have to take your shoes off? You got to take your shoes off.
Yeah, I have to take my shoes. Got to take my shoes off.
He does that.
And count other appendages on top of that.
Got flip flops. Yeah. You look down and count.
Yeah, and all 10 of his toes have been amputated. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so no, I'm looking forward to this time of year. Shift gears. It's refreshing. Football season's a grind. Sad to see it go, but you move on to different. It's almost like a new start. So looking
baseball
forward to
season.
that.
Yeah, 2 months away, right, Sean? Baseball season. So Jesse Schule.
I can say that
over-
I'm not looking forward to baseball season as much as I'm looking forward to the tournament and the NBA playoffs. Certainly get that out of the way before I'll actually be happy to play baseball or bet baseball.
a lot of college basketball left to be played. We got a good 6 weeks of regular season action left, if not more. What is today is no, we got more than that actually. So, and then also, like Jesse said, the NCAA tournament, NBA regular season, NBA playoffs, and if you're in NHL, these two gentlemen like to dabble in. You won't see me in the NHL on a consistent basis until the playoffs. But Sean, again, you fill the folks in a little bit how you did over the weekend with the 6-3 NFL. Which is very impressive when you figure 6-3 NFL regular season, week 18, not the easiest week of the schedule to handicap due to a lot of meaningless games, teams playing with a lot of urgency. Other teams are playing out the string, but that's a great job by you. But tell the folks a little bit more about what you want them to know and why they should invest in you over at gamblersworld.net, Sean.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, college basketball's seemed to turn the corner with the calendar switch. So I'm excited about that. And I do dabble a little bit in hockey and NBA. Not as much as college hoops, but again, use the leaderboards. You see how I do. I'm a little more volume than these two cats. But we've been winning. I mean, I'm up there with NBA and NHL. And again, the college hoops since the start of the year. It's only been 9 days, but hey, I get 60% with 40 plus games already, so I'm excited. And of course, I got NFL for the weekend already. I got 6 NFL games up for wild card weekend, ready to go.
Yep, big time games are for big time handicappers. Us three, along with the other 7 gentlemen over at gamblersworld.net, will get it done for you. All you need to do is invest a little bit of money to make a lot. And that always sounds like a good equation to me. You could find me over at gamblersworld.net, as I just alluded to as well. Coming off my win with Michigan yesterday in the college football national championship game. Okay, college football is behind us, but after a slow start to the bowl season, I finished 13-8 in the college football bowl season. Combine that with 13-4 last year, 26-12. Over the last 2 years in college football bowl season, as I alluded to with that phrase, big time games are for big time handicappers. And I went 5-1 combined on New Year's Day and the college football championship game. So, and finished number 1, tied for first in the Wise Guy contest. And the guy I tied, Mark Lawrence, also is a member of gamblersworld.net. So there you have it. There was 47 participants in that contest. And you have the top 2 at gamblersworld.net, along with these 2 gentlemen who do pretty damn good, as they just told you. All right, let me look at my game, which is Purdue and Nebraska. Purdue is a 7.5-point favorite. The total 150.5. Purdue 14-1, Nebraska 12-3. Why is Nebraska such a heavy underdog at home? Yes, Purdue is the number 1 team in the country, according to the AP poll. And the big difference here, folks, when you look at why this spread is so large, when you consider a 12-3 team being a 7.5-point underdog, is number 1, what I just said, Purdue being top ranked. Number 2, the strength of schedule. I alluded to the fact that in the Baylor game and the disparities in strength of schedule between Baylor and BYU, we have similar type of situation here where Nebraska has played the 230th strongest schedule in the country. Purdue, number 3. And hence, that's why you have a sizable point spread. It has much to do with who Purdue has faced and who Purdue beaten. I mean, you look at some of the teams they beat. They got wins over top 25 teams in Gonzaga, Tennessee, Marquette, Alabama, Arizona, and Illinois. Their only loss this season came at Northwestern, who's not a bad team, and they lost that game in overtime. So, no, don't get carried away. I'm not going with Purdue here, okay? I'm looking at the home underdog. Nebraska is 10-1 at home, and their only loss came against Creighton, another top 25 team. They do have some quality wins in the Big Ten, 86-70 over Indiana just recently at home, and also beat Michigan State at home, 77-70. Now, Indiana and Michigan were thought to be much better teams in the preseason than they are right now, but they're still, having said that, they're not slouches, and they beat some quality competition there. I'm not going to call for the outright upset here, but I do think that Nebraska, who's coming off that 88-72 loss at Wisconsin, will be in bounce-back mode. I think it's a good spot here for your home underdog. I just think that Nebraska will do enough in this game to stay inside this number, keep it competitive throughout. I would not be shocked if they pull the outright upset, but I'm not going to get greedy here, Sean. I'm going to take Nebraska plus the 7.5 at home against Purdue.
I agree. Everything you just said. And also, last year this game was 65-62 here, an OT win for Purdue. And we saw Purdue lose at Northwestern. We did like them. Sorry, Jesse. I think me and Ross liked them over Maryland that day. But again, you look at other games. This is a Nebraska team. I said I kind of liked that. I don't know what I think they're a tough little squad. They got thumped last week. It's not football. Got to get that through my head here. It's last game out. They got roughed up by Whiskey, but at home, I'm getting points. You don't think they'll be pumped up for the number one team? This is what we talk about, home courts in college hoops. Yeah, Purdue could win this game, but could this be a 4-point game? 5-point game? Give me the points here with you, 7.5. We'll take it.
Is 7.5 too much to lay on the road, even with the number one team in the country, Jesse, or is the strength of schedule, as I pointed out, going to come into play here, where we've seen Purdue beat some extremely good teams, where Nebraska really hasn't faced nowhere near the level of competition as Purdue has?
Well, Ross, last week Purdue was on the road at a team called Maryland, and I liked the Terps getting the points at home. Unfortunately, they couldn't score. Purdue only scored 67 points in that game. Maryland couldn't get anything done offensively. Nebraska, on the other hand, I mean, they appear to be shooting the ball well. They're hitting their free throws. They don't have that appearance of a team that isn't going to be able to score. So if Purdue comes in here and scores 70 or 67 points, I think they're going to be in trouble. It's hard for me to believe that the bookmakers would be up to speed on this Nebraska team at this point. Nebraska has shown signs that they're going to be a lot better than they were a year ago, but it's probably too soon for the books to really make too much of an adjustment on that. And we will see. This will be a big test for them if they can hang with Purdue. But everything they've showed us so far, I believe they can. So I will go with the underdog as well.
All right. So all three of us, the official pick, Nebraska plus 7.5 from me over Purdue, but Jesse and Sean both agree. Also, Jesse likes the Houston Cougars -3 on the road at Iowa State. Me and Sean's opinion is we're going the other way. Sean, he likes the BYU Baylor game over 154. Myself and Jesse's lean is on Baylor -4. So there you have it, folks. All three of our free picks, but don't forget, go to gamblersworld.net to get our premium paid selections tonight. A lot of college basketball, NBA, NHL. We're going to put you in, quote unquote, the winner's circle. So, and don't forget, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, there's a black subscribe button right underneath the video box. Just click on that. That'll get you subscribed absolutely free. There's no hidden agenda. There's no strings attached, no subscription plans. You'll just be privy to the best sports betting podcasts in this format, and you'll find anywhere on the internet, with not three guys with a college education in mass media that want to work at ESPN, but they can't get a job because of, obviously there's not a lot of opportunities there. And so, hey, do you want to work in sports betting? Yeah, we will. No, we're three sports handicappers, professional. This is what we do on a daily basis. And for those of you who referred to us as the Three Stooges, That's okay, because the Three Stooges makes money, and most of you out there, you don't. So you might want to follow the Three Stooges. Anyway, and also if you're on your PC, just click on that WC logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That will get you subscribed the same way as I just touched upon. And take one step further, folks. You go into your YouTube settings. If you subscribed already and you haven't done this, or you're a new subscriber, and click on the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, and you'll be notified immediately upon any of our 6 weekly broadcasts going up on our great channel. Jesse, there's a like button underneath. What would you like the folks to do with that like button?
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Even Sean wasn't intimidated this time. He kept his headphones on.
I did. You know what? Because I went to look at the Three Stooges. Am I Curly or am I Shemp? What am I?
I don't know, but whatever we are, we're doing okay. So, in any event, for Sean Higgs, Jesse Schule, and Ross Benjamin, I will be back later today with Paul Bovey. We'll be discussing 2 of the NFL matchups in the playoffs this weekend. Sean and Jesse will be back with me tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We should have the show up somewhere between 11:30 and noon tomorrow, so keep an eye out on that. We'll be discussing more college basketball at that time. And also, don't forget, on Friday is our live show, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to be looking at some NFL futures in terms of the money line odds of teams to win it all, and we're all going to be giving our picks there, and we'll be giving you the odds of those picks. So look forward to that, and of course, taking all your questions and also listening to all your comments, and you'll get an immediate reaction. So there you go, folks. Don't forget to put that in your calendar. 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, we go live. Until the next time, for all of us, take care and God bless, folks.